I gave you no context, but I want to warn you.
No context.
This is a podcast about nothing.
Let's roll. Let's roll. I mean, this is kind of what we talk about anyway. Like Leah, we talk every single day about like, hey, what's going on, like career and relationships and all the things.
Take that down 10 notches.
Yeah.
You actually get
all
stupider.
the substance. Mm-hmm. So if it was a maths equation, it would be 4 minus 4 equals 0.
The fact that you made it so that it's not negative is extraordinary. Thank you. I love that for us. That makes me so happy.
Hi, I'm Leah Lamarr.
And I'm Bella Hull.
And welcome to Rats of the Roundtable.
Please do not listen if you are operating heavy machinery, are a blood relative, or an ex-boyfriend.
We are not responsible for hurting your feelings.
Welcome
to Rats of the Roundtable.
Oh my God, that table's like so round.
That's so round. That's so round. Oh my God, that table's like so round. So round.
Welcome to Rats of the Roundtable.
Hi guys, we're live from New York. This is Leah Lamarr.
And this is Bella Hull.
And today with us, we have a very special guest.
We have a beautiful guest.
One of my BFFs. She is a star actress. She actually just had a movie come out and like many more on the way. But this is my BFF, Susie. Everyone say hi to Susie.
Hi Susie. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for being here. I mean, this is amazing and I love it.
What's going on with you at the moment?
What is...
Whoa.
Are we going there?
Wow, way to open a can of worms.
Well, okay, well, first of all, happy things. I have a movie coming out.
Congratulations.
I already know what's happening. I'm just waiting for a bomb to drop. Just keep going. Yeah.
No, well, we'll get into the bomb in just a hot sec. And
wait, can I ease us in with something?
Yeah.
So Susie and I recently went to a premiere that neither of us knew was a premiere. So I basically showed up in sweatpants. I was like, these are my pajamas.
Oh my God, it was amazing. She actually had like a fleece like thing and shoes. And you're like, no, I can make it work. I can totally make it work. You're like, no. I'm like, I think it's like a high upscale screening. So like, you know, I think I had a dress.
You could wear a fleece in a kind of the way that like Frank Ocean would wear a fleece to the Met Gala.
No, it looked like I was sleeping on the subway.
Right.
Like that's the level.
It was like one of those fleeces that you get for free somewhere. Like,
all right. Okay, all right now, Susie.
A fleece that I give away.
How dare you?
Because her jacket like crushed, like it crushes. Her jacket, her trench coat. You're like, oh my God, yeah, you. And then she took it off, and then I was like, oh,
you put it back on. Wow.
Looks like she's volunteering.
But the sweater was perfect. But then there was the fleece because it was really cold. It was freezing, so it was like, but it was a fleece. It was a
fleece. It was not an Old Navy performance fleece, but it was a fleece that looked bad.
I have done a lot of cringy things, like, because, you know, when you meet your heroes. So Chris Rock was one of them. And so we're at this, like, oh God, here we go. I'm just launching into the story.
Please go in.
So somehow I always get invited to these, like, random events, but it's like... So Lawrence Bender, who's like the producer of all the Tarantino films. And so there's like, you know...
Oh my God, I was at his house the other day.
Oh my God, when?
Wait, this is so crazy.
Okay, so he has these jam parties. He invites 50 people and me. Somehow I get invited. And it's like, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio. So, you know, and Leonardo DiCaprio, like I always, like I've met him before, like several times. And, but then there's like Jonah Hill and Al Pacino. And so this jam party where it was like Seal and CeeLo are there. And it's like, you know, somehow I had the tambourine and I was like literally like Jonah Hill handed
and
to
that's
me.
Susie on the tambourine. Everyone give it up for Susie in the corner.
And so I'm looking over at like Halle Berry and we're like, what is life? And it's just so, I'm just like, we're having this moment and it's so crazy. I proceed to do an impersonation of Chris Rock in front of Chris Rock. Mm-hmm. He literally was like,
oh
yeah, okay. And
oh wow, he just sort of removed himself from the situation.
Okay, and not you, not you just doing an impression of him. Of the moment of him leaving.
Yeah. Just literally backed away.
Also, make sure you're close to me. Sorry, go on.
And then there was another time. So like literally like a week later, I got invited. I was like friends with like Dave Chappelle. Like my house had just burned down at this like point, and somehow I'm like, so I'm sitting next to Dave Chappelle at some like sushi place, and like he's like, hey, you want to go to Peppermint?
Things.
So it's very but the point, like, so he was doing a stand-up and he invited Chris Rock up on the stage and he kept looking at me, trying to place me and like literally just staring at me the whole time. And I'm like, don't do the impression again. And so we're all in this like VIP sort of thing. And I'm like, don't do it. I know you want to do it, but, and I literally, thank God I didn't, but
Wow.
I thought I thought you were going to have an emotional house burn down just now.
No. No, that actually happened, but I think like he friended me or something. Like he was like, hey, like, yeah, come hang out with us. Your house burned down. Cool. Like,
So
Okay.
sorry, do you want to talk about your house burning down or do we not have time?
no. It was the Woolsey fires. It was actually like one of the best things that's ever happened to me. 'Cause like, you would never say it literally. Well, again, it sounds
But
ridiculous.
this is the most Susie thing, because Susie like takes the most traumatic event of her life and turns it into gratitude.
Yeah,
which
she manifests it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hard quality to have as a friend, because
It's like a
you know,
blessing in
you're just like, how do you
disguise.
fucking do that? I just make dick jokes about it. You know, it's like it doesn't matter what the trauma is; it becomes a dick joke. But Susie just turns it into gratitude. So
Yeah.
So you're grateful
go
that
on with your house burning down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those things at first. One of my other best friends, Christy, you know, so I knew like it just, the house burned down during the Woolsey fires. I lost everything. I had like a tiny little suitcase. And Christy sat me down and I was like tears and everything. And she was like, okay, you can use this moment to like wallow and, you know, cry, and you're totally in your right to do that. Or you can wield this energy and use it, you know, to your advantage and try to like, you know, you have a vast amount of energy now, and now you can, you know, manifest like just, so I kind of took that as an experiment and literally, you know, and that's like, I always wanted to meet Dave Chappelle and be his friend. And the next thing you know, like it was manifested before me. Like that was kind of like all these things.
Just sorry, really
happening.
quick. Can you say Leah randomly gets $1 million?
Leah randomly gets $1 million from Powerball and having a Netflix special that goes viral that everyone loves.
Okay,
And
thank
it's
you.
Number one.
Okay, thank you. Keep going.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your
so-
house has to burn down first.
No, well, I don't have one, so
Okay,
joke's
go.
on you, universe. All right, let's go.
Yeah. So
I feel like I'm gonna get the $1 million, buy a house, and then it will burn down.
So then, but totally. But like, honestly, like there was a moment that happened for me where I kind of had a timeout for like a whole year. And then I kind of just sat with everything that I needed to just like unbox everything and go through like just all my trauma and just like kind of face it all, because I couldn't get a job. I couldn't, you know, I wasn't working. I was like 50 grand in debt. And then after I just kind of really like used that time, that's when everything started manifesting. It was like 4-picture deal. It was like working with Will Smith. You know, it was like one thing after you know, when I was literally going to quit the business, I went for like the Forever Purge. I had no idea what movie I was even auditioning for. And I did the audition and I literally was like, they hate me. This is terrible. And then I got it and I was like, oh my God. Like I literally after that was going to quit. And then just everything just kind of started happening because I kept being like, how can I use this? How can I manifest money? How can I, you know, going from nothing to, and it's something that I've used over and over and over again. It's a hard thing to kind of like move through, but yeah.
It's crazy that is giving hot girls all over the world real aspirational advice.
Yeah.
Like you can be a hot girl in debt and then get out of debt and
Totally.
like basically win the career lottery and the face lottery at the same time. Like how fun is that?
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Are people who have had the most problems better?
Yes, if they choose to use it and how they frame it.
Well, so like for example, Hitler wasn't allowed to go to art school, and then you know, so it's like I know it's like he had just like this one problem, and then I guess like the Jews the second
I
problem,
feel like it was
and then
more than art school though somehow.
No, he was beaten by, I think his like father, he was beaten by his father, his whole thing. And I think in my past life, I think I was like a World War II vet or something. And
On
so I
which
like love,
side?
I have the Americans.
I love listening to audiobooks about World War II. I
World War
listen
II, I'm
to
obsessed.
are you slowly becoming a Republican?
It's like what, like 40-year-old men they
Yeah.
get into? I'm, I guess, a 40-year-old man.
I did
Gay
tour
man.
support around England last month and we were in the car for like 4 hours a day every weekend for a month, and I was just like, let's put on this Hitler audiobook right now. I would put it on, everyone would be like, what the fuck? I would fall asleep within 7 minutes because the man was like, and then the soldiers were working their way through Ukraine. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm watching that now on Netflix. It's so entertaining.
The fact that extreme trauma makes it so that you can fall asleep easily.
It's so bad how like the worst things that happen in real life are the coziest things to watch on TV. I saw a tweet about true crime that was like, Me gets brutally murdered and my murderer is never found. Someone watching it on Netflix 20 years later. This is fucking boring.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Sorry, I dissociated and then I came back in.
That's good. That's good.
And it's like, but I still got it, which was really exciting. But also, I just want to say, I had this shower thought the other day because I was actually an artist. Like, that's what I wanted to do. And then because I would take so long with drawing and painting, my parents specifically asked my high school to not accept me into the art program. Isn't that crazy? And I was like, oh my God.
What?
My parents don't realize they created a monster.
Oh my God.
I know. They literally Hitlered me.
Why?
I'm like, did they think? I know. But what I'm saying is there just like a burning rage firing inside me?
Yeah. You're
Like, I'm not sure.
To be a superstar. Like,
I don't know who I'm angry with.
That's what
it's just
superstars are.
everyone.
No. That's what I mean. Like, I've always said that. You're a literal icon, and I've literally like.
All right. Okay. This podcast isn't about me, but okay. So, do you think people with more trauma are better than everyone?
Well, I think it depends if your trauma then prevents you from ascending. I think if you're pretty and then you have trauma, it makes you so good.
Do you have an example?
Susie, gorgeous girl,
Stunning.
50,000
No notes.
million in the hole, and then boom, boom, shake the room. Here she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just summarized your life
a lot
for
of
you.
trauma. I've had like it's like generational because my dad was like in a form of like a concentration camp as a child in World War II, which is probably why I'm like obsessed with that whole era. But yeah, I think it was like a Russian gulag of sorts or something. But yeah,
I don't know why the word gulag. It just
because
it feels
it was Russian.
It feels like the word phlegm. I'm just like, I have a gulag. You know what I mean?
It feels like a cake with gravy inside that you eat.
a gulag. Yeah.
Totally.
Is that our word of the day?
That's interesting.
It sounds like, what's that thing, pierogi in Poland?
Pierogi?
Yeah, do you know what that is?
Yeah, they're like little like weird
Those little
pastries with
things.
like
Yeah,
stuff
right,
inside
right.
them.
There's a dish that you can get in Jordan that's like a pastry boat with cheese and egg in it. And that to me is what a gulag sounds like it is.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bready boat full of cheese and
Yeah.
egg.
Do you think a gulag could be a chocolate fountain, like a fondue, but it's white chocolate?
Yeah. But it's like left. It's gone a bit.
So you don't really
cold.
want it?
It's kind of congealing.
Yeah.
A gulag. I'm trying to think.
That's what a gulag is.
It feels like a messy, like I don't know, some like a pastry that just has goo in it or something.
I think a gulag is when someone comes
Like
on you and you're
gulag.
waiting for them to get the towel.
Yeah. It's the moment between the cum and the towel when
Yeah.
you're alone
With
and you
the
don't know how
with
to
the
lie.
gulag.
You're
Yeah.
alone with the gulag, and it's that
It's the
liminal
thoughts.
space between eroticism and like the
I'm gonna
next
kill
stage of,
myself.
Yeah, the next stage of life where you're just cleaning up and therefore a normal person again. It's like, oh well, I'm just sort of naked and cold. And I'm so exposed now.
Which probably
Right.
would happen at the gulag.
Yeah.
Like inside the most traumatic
yeah.
form of concentration.
Like first
camp
I was
you can
sexual
get.
and now I'm a cum dumpster.
yeah, of course.
And I need to have someone scrape it off of me.
I think
Oh
a
my God.
gulag is the liminal space between like Target and CVS.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
it. But to bring it back to the trauma making someone better or not, I think it's. I think if you don't stay there, because I think like for a while when I was sort of like stuck in the trauma, you can stay there and
do get stuck.
You can kind of like. You can weaponize it where it's like you can use it of like like look at me, I'm traumatized, you know what I mean? And then you're not using it fully, you're not being your full self. And I think you're limiting yourself to like your most grand greatness of like I feel like we're all a piece of God, and then you're sort of just stunting your growth.
You can get stuck as well, especially if you get stuck in a sort of like, I feel bad for myself. I've had that a lot of the time with breakups where the relationship ends and then you feel yourself
wanna feel-
whining to your
yes.
friends the same thing that you said 14 times, and your friends are looking at you like, I find you so boring, and yet I can't tell you because you're too sad for me to like actually be real and tell you
Yeah.
that you're annoying me so relentlessly. So you just get stuck.
I've
And
done
then
that.
actually
She can vouch
it's
for
when your
that.
friends say, rule, don't talk about him anymore. It's over. Just move on. Just be a new person. That's when you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let yourself let it go.
Yeah, but it's interesting because it's like it's such a interesting balance of like allowing the sadness to not get stuck and try to like, because my sort of thing used to be like, I need to avoid, I need to run away, I need to, like distract myself. And it's like actually sometimes really great and cathartic to just cry in the taxi for, 30 minutes sobbing.
Okay.
Wow, I love crying in a public
and
space.
now we're going to segue into the second half of this podcast.
No, sorry guys, this is getting real.
No, we're okay with real.
Okay.
As long as it's mixed with a little
No, please,
bit of surreality.
Please. I would love it. Yeah, the cum dumpster of the gulags.
Yeah, sure.
I see that stuck with you because cum does stick with you.
Yeah.
Wait,
But,
that's on my grandma's tombstone. What the hell?
I can never be as quick as you. It's genius. It's great.
No, I can't handle this. Okay, so yeah, I guess we have decided that people with trauma are better.
Yeah, they're better as long as they are a good-looking person.
Yes, as long as you're attractive.
As long as you're attractive. If you're ugly and then you get traumatized, I'm sorry.
Good luck
Go
to you.
home.
Yeah.
Go home. I've lived in the Southeast for 7 years now. I moved down here from a cold northern state when I was younger. Is this England?
I think this
or
is America.
This is America.
This feels like Georgia.
I've lived in the Southeast for 7 years now. I moved down here from a cold northern state when I was younger. I was going to leave sooner, but I met my husband and we've been together for almost 6 years. I should preface this by saying that I love my husband more than I've ever loved anything. So please do not suggest we divorce. It's not that complicated. Also, while I don't agree with the political climate of Florida either, that's not a factor in my apprehension. His parents are only going to live in northern Florida for a few years before moving again to a smaller house near Tampa or Orlando. That's where my husband wants to live too. I've told him that I don't want to live there because it's just too hot for me and I've already sacrificed by living in Georgia? He's becoming eligible for a relocation at his job next month and keeps saying he's going to immediately apply for Tampa, Orlando, and Tallahassee. I've asked him to please reconsider because I really don't want to live in Florida. I don't want to be selfish, but I don't want to be unhappy either.
Fair.
Of course, if they were disabled and needed help, I'd gladly pack up and move to assist. But they're in good health and have plenty of years to enjoy retirement before we have to think about in-home care for them. So tell me, am I right?
Well, when your mom's dead, I just kind of feel like you should go see your parents as much as you can.
Whoa. Yeah.
Because I literally actually moved here closer to my mom. But yeah, I think, look, I mean, I don't know, having an experience like that, it also depends. Like, is there a time frame that you guys could negotiate, that's something that's fair, for both of them. So it's like, okay, well, my parents are getting older, maybe that's sort of the feeling that, wants to be closer to the family. And so like, it's like, all right, can we, carve out some time, like a month or like a couple weeks or, and I think that, I think that's reasonable. I think that's fair because you don't know how long you have,
Yeah. And you can never get that time back.
You can never get that time back. And like, here's the thing, like I heard this, this was really interesting. That like you see your parents like, once or twice a year, which is what, like 20 more times in your life.
Yeah.
Like that's wild.
I do want to point
wow,
out.
that's awful.
Yeah,
but it's true.
I do
right?
want to point out that she said, I should preface this by saying that I love my husband more than I've ever loved anything. So please do not suggest we divorce. It's not that complicated. But I'm like, obviously it's that complicated if you're posting on the internet about it.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously she's feeling guilt, extreme guilt, which I always find when people post on the internet. I'm just like, you clearly know that you're feeling twisted about it because there's an answer that feels more right to you, but you don't want to go with it.
Exactly.
There's also, I have like a best friend and they kind of did, she really wanted to live in Florida and he had work in New York and they're like, hey, let's like see each other every 2 weeks and I'll fly down for, like a couple days and we'll have like or you'll fly up here and they made that work for a while. Like it was great. So I think that there's always, a way to work that out.
Yeah.
Like
And it doesn't have to be
and it doesn't
totally
have to be that
conventional.
complicated.
Yeah.
I have friends who they were living in LA and they just moved to San Francisco because her husband is the CEO of a tech company and their company just like boomed. So they have to go to San Francisco. And she's like, I'd rather die than be an SF during the winter.
Yeah.
And also she just had to uproot her whole life. She's a director. And she's like, so she's ending up getting an apartment in LA and she's just going to go back and forth. And it's like, okay, great. Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah,
Problem
exactly.
solved.
It doesn't have to be that
It's not that big of an
complicated.
issue. I think she just wants to be right.
She wants to be right. I think it's also
Which
one of
I
those
understand.
things. Like I heard someone tell me once, like when you really need to make a tough decision, you flip a coin and
You ask
whatever
the
it lands on, you think, what did I what side do I want it to land on?
Yeah.
When it lands, you're like, oh, did I want it to be heads? And if you did, then that's your decision.
Yeah.
But the problem with me is that whenever I flip a coin, because I'm so self-destructive sometimes, it's like my stomach, my gut, I can't trust my intuition or my gut because my gut will always steer me astray.
Yeah, because you've got IBS.
Because it keeps me safe. Also, because I had gluten or dairy earlier that day. Or any food at all point. Yeah. Or happiness. I had happiness earlier that day, so I was shitting my brains out. Anything to just not feel normal and just even my internal organs are sabotaging me. Yeah, it's such an interesting thing, but I think she knows.
Oh.
I think she knows.
Yeah.
I think she knows.
Maybe she just wants an argument.
Yeah.
Like
who
it
doesn't?
Also,
Keeps the marriage alive, baby. Let's have some makeup sex. Hey.
Parents, right? It's the partner's parents.
Yeah, I also
Which
But you marry a family.
you marry a family, exactly.
Which no one tells you when you're marrying one person.
yeah.
But I think the whole family should be up there at the wedding with you, being like, guess what? Your whole life's going to be dictated by all of our choices.
Oh my god, it's so, yeah.
So anyway,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. No, it's true. Yeah.
The word of the day is nugatory.
That sounds like another gulagi kind of, it's just a different version of it. It's not
A nugatory.
nugatory.
A nougat.
That's where they make the
chocolate.
the-
The
yeah,
nougat
yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Snickers.
yeah.
A nugatory. That's funny.
Nougator. It's like a
Nougatory.
lab where they make nougat.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Nugatory.
in Milky Ways, they have like the little
Yeah,
the
like so
nougat.
Milky
made
Way.
in a nougatory.
I don't know if
near
you guys have shit candy in UK, but
Oh,
in
yeah.
America we just have poison that they also add chocolate to, and that's what a nougat is.
I went around the Hershey's store in Times Square yesterday.
Oh my god, doing it
High
big,
off
babe.
my face on an
What is
edible
it?
that I
What
bought
does
from
that
the
mean?
street.
We'll find out in a second.
We'll find out.
Leah was like, oh, I was like, oh, edibles are free here. No, they're not free. They're legal. They're legal. So
So
I was
at the
like, why not?
Chocolate factory. They
Kicked
were
in
just-
right when I was in Times Square. I was like, this is okay. Went to the Hershey's. Felt like a child experiencing. I was also like a massive obese child. So it really brought out all of my inner pleasure demons that I have spent the last 10 years trying to oppress. They all came free. And I just like filled the bag with all of the little Hershey's things and then like ate them all on the subway and then got so high I had to sit down on the floor of the subway.
It's usually how I feel when I get when I smoke some weed. I definitely like become a 5-year-old sometimes, where it's just like the purest form, I guess, of you.
But I think
That's
that
so nice.
I bought some nugatory there
Sometimes.
though.
Then you're just really overwhelmed by everything.
Yeah, because I turn into an evil spirit. Like every time I can't do edibles anymore.
not possible.
No, the second I do edibles, I just see like demons coming out of radiators. I'm just like, what's happening?
No, but it's your psychic abilities. Actually, you're just witnessing, like, I guess.
Susie's convinced I'm a psychic. By
She
the way.
is. No, she is.
You
she
do have
definitely
very
is.
psychic energy.
She's amazing. She knows. She just
Hi.
like
True.
she's like a reluctant psychic. She's like, I don't want to do this. Damn it! It's kind of like Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, you're
in
like Whoopi
Ghost,
Gold-
you know?
exactly, that's
Whoopi
exactly
Goldberg
what
in
I was
Ghost. I
thinking.
really feel that.
Oh my god, am I the next EGOT? Stop it.
Oh my god! Yes.
Just call me Whoopi
Icon
Goldberg.
high.
A reluctant psychic is a very
Yeah.
funny SNL
Reluctant-
character.
yeah,
Just like,
yeah.
Oh gosh.
all right,
Yeah.
fine.
I don't want to talk to you right now. Leave me alone.
Yeah, fine. You're gonna go on a date with a guy who has a 3-inch penis. Fine, fine. I'll tell you.
That's a great bit. I think
really
you should, I
stupid.
think you should do it. Yeah, be the reluctant. That you should like put that somewhere.
Are you manifesting this? Because
Yes.
it's annoying me.
I love it. Yeah, why not? It's a funny bit. It's great.
Oh my god, thank you, Susie. I appreciate
So,
it. So we're gonna find out what nugatory means.
I tell you what happened. My Vodafone has cut off my 4G because I've used my limit.
Okay, so this is what nugatory means.
That's why I can't see it.
Definition of no value or importance. Early 17th century, from Latin nugatoris, from to trifle, from or jests.
Are you okay?
I think I just had like a stroke. I'm not really sure what just happened. But
aneurysm is coming.
definition of no value or importance. Early 17th century. It comes from
It's
Latin
nil.
roots nugatoris,
Oh.
to trifle or jests.
Nugatory. So if you're being
It's like almost like negative, like negative, but it's like a cool way of saying it, like a nugatory.
yeah, nugatory.
It's like if you're a valley girl saying negative.
Would you go on a date with a guy if he shut down the whole nugatory for you?
Of course. Of course I would. I definitely want to go to the Hershey's Castle and, have just all the chocolate and nougat.
Wow, Willy Wonka is going on a date with
You know what I'm
Susie.
saying?
Wow.
Timothy Chalamet. I am available.
Wow. That's
Timothy Chalamet, call us. We will connect you with Susie.
Timothy Chalamet.
We expect 10% of your firstborn. He's dating a Kardashian right now.
Oh yeah.
I can see, but like you could rival a Kardashian.
I think that
cute.
it's crazy
cute.
he's dating because for me they're in different universes. For me, Timothy Chalamet is in sort of highbrow award ceremony, like the most prestigious.
Opposites attract.
Yeah, and Kylie is like billionaire, buy my lip liner that's been made by slaves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that I don't have 5 in my bag, but I'm just saying we've got to know where our produce comes from.
I don't own Kardashian products because I heard that they treat their employees really poorly. But I do think that they've created a beautiful empire for themselves.
They really have.
I also admire them. I love what they've done for like pale girls that look like kind of foreign.
Me?
No, that's what the Kardashians have done. They've like made pale girls that look basically white but kind of a bit foreign feel very at home.
Me?
and me. Yeah,
Me?
it's like both of us.
They're all so hot in their own way.
Yeah.
And I do admire that. And I'm not jealous. I would like to. I actually once saw Chloe in person. This was at Art Basel last year, and her ankles were so skinny I thought she was floating, but her ass was big and perfect, and then her waist was invisible. So it was like a lot of like body parts missing. Like she was a
Chloe
magician's
is-
trick, cut into pieces.
I was like, how do you?
And then, but she was also like thriving. So
I've also seen Chloe in real life in Westfield, London. When I was 14, I queued in a car park from 4 a.m. to see Chloe launch her new blush collection.
wait, okay, let's emergency land this plane right now.
Emergency land this plane.
Everybody in the queue, so I was like 14, I was with this girl called Rhea. We were all like booked up. Every girl in the queue it was in the phase where
I'm
all of the
dying right now.
Kardashians and everybody in the queue in this car park to see Khloe Kardashian was wearing, the donut sponge that then you wrap your hair around it to make a bun, but it's like this big. It's like the size of your head, and everybody I just remember seeing so many girls, and none of the girls had enough hair to go around the whole donut sponge. So you could just see exposed mesh donut above everyone's head.
Wow.
And then we couldn't see Chloe because she was too far away.
Wait, the idea that you lined up at a mall to see Chloe is incredible to me.
It is one of my it's one of the memories that lives in the shadows of my brain,
And now in the shadows of ours.
Yeah, and now in the shadow of everyone's brain.
A big donut on her head.
I think we need to
I think it's time to wrap her in.
baby up, I think, which is such a shame. I could talk forever.
I would love this.
Time for a field trip to the Nuggatory.
I would
Time
love that.
for field trip to
Can
the
we go?
Nuggatory.
The Nuggatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it has to be gluten free though. That's sort of. I don't know if that's.
all right. Well, I guess we'll just cancel the field trip.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay.
Okay. Well, I love to end a podcast episode on a non-joke where no one is laughing. All right, there we go. Now we can end the podcast. Thank you, Susie, for coming on the podcast
We
today.
worship you. We love you.
Love you. Thanks
Love
for watching.
you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Rats of the Roundtable is a Turtle Canyon comedy production produced by me, Stuart Laws. Please rate, review, subscribe, share the podcast so that more people can listen to it. Thank you very much for supporting.